What's up, guys? This is Vishal from Buddyformula. This is my first tech profile on this channel, and it's going to be Super Robots. Super Robots is a new archetype that was released in Buddy Again Volume 2 Super Buddy Wars. It just came out a few days ago, and this deck is pretty interesting because it has combinations of every single robot that has been released so far. So it's like a sort of a robo fantasy for those people who love robots. It's a very aggressive deck, and it has a lot of special features that is interesting. So let's get on with the profile. So the buddy is Satsuki. Satsuki's effect is pretty good. So when it's a 3 gauge to station, it's a size 9 actually. So it's a 3 gauge to station. So when you station this card, you put the top 6 cards of your, I mean not when you station, it's a cost. So pay 3 gauge and put the top 6 cards of your deck into the soul. And these are during each player's attack phase, you may call one super robo from the soul of this card. It's not a once per turn, so it's actually like you can spam the call. And when you station, all your super robots on the field get size reduced by 3. So this deck runs a lot of different types of super robots. So this is actually your main card in the deck. Like you have to see this card for this deck to function. So we play four of the body. And then next up we play 2 Pal Academy Combi Ibok. So this card is an interesting effect. This card is also treated as the friendship Combi Ibok, the battle building that when you ride you gain 5 life. So when this card enters the field, or when you ride this card, you may choose a battle building or a super robo. As in, it must enter the field by effect of a super robo, sorry. So you can choose a battle building or a super robo from your deck, send it to the drop zone, and you draw 1 card if you put 1. And also you gain 3 life when it enters the field, right? So this main function of this card is to send your key pieces, because you play a lot of like 1 and 2 copies of cards in the deck. So you want to send the specific pieces to the drop zone so that you can use cards to put them inside the soul of Satsuki, because the cards have to be inside the soul for the Satsuki's effect. So this card is very important, and you can call this out during your opponent turn to gain the 3 life, and it has an 8k defense. Next up, play 2 Kaiserion. This is my favorite card in the game. Kaiserion is actually really good. So when you write this card, you may put up to 4 Brave Machine with Deity in its card name from the deck to your soul. You don't really use this card, use this effect. This is the second effect, is the most important one. So when this card enters the field, you may put 4 cards from the drop zone into the soul of this card. And if it has 4 or more souls, it gets +2 critical. So the main thing is you use Sasuke's effect. You call this out during your opponent's turn, and he gets 4 souls. And that's a pretty good tank because it has 10k defense. And it's also a 5 crits. The main purpose of this card is to cushion attacks from your opponent, and you can combo this with Grace of Sun Deity to avoid penetrate. So your opponent has to get through these 4 souls and Kaizerion himself 1 time before he can touch you. So that's why you play 2 of this. Next, we play this Sturgia. Sturgia is actually one of the key cards in the deck, because the effect of this card, right, is you can ignore the first effect, the one where it reduces a true trooper's size by 1. The main thing you want to do is the second effect, the one where during your attack phase you can call 1 crew trooper or super robo from your hand without paying a score cost. So what you can do is you can use this, come out with Sasuke's effect, you can attack, and then you can call like Kaiserion from your hand. So Kaiserion effect is not a call cost to put the soul. So when you call Kaiserion, you get the 4 souls, and then you got like an extra tank. Or you can call other stuff that has high gauge cost. And next up we play 1 Cardboard. Card burn is mainly for the offense because it has 4 crits, and you can sometimes use it as a defense because it has 20k defense. So what this does is it cannot be rested, cannot be destroyed, cannot be returned to your hand. It's a very useful ability actually. Just penetrate and double attack, 4 gauge. So with Sasuke's effect, you will reduce the gauge by 2. Whenever you call a card from the soul, you reduce the gauge by 2. So this becomes a 2 gauge. 4 crit, double attack becomes 8 crits. Next up, we play 1 shouting. Shouting is like the main offense card in the deck. So what you can do is when you write this card, you can put up to 3 battle poets and give 3 different names from the deck. So you don't really worry about that effect. The main effect you actually worry about is the second one. I mean, not worry about, you want to use. So it's a counter. You may drop a card with battle poet or a super robot from your hand. If you drop, all cards on your field gets plus 10k defense, plus 10k power, and 2 critical. So this is, it can act as an offense and as a defense. So you can like call card burn, and you can use this effect. Since it becomes a size 0, you can have both of them on the field. So use this effect, you discard any other super robot, card burn becomes 30k defense during opponent turn. Or you can just use this and give card burn the 2 crits, and because of 6 crit, and then you can use with Kaiserion becomes a 7 crit. So this is the main offense. You only need to play on because you can always filter this through the eyeball, and then you can add it to the soul later. Next up, we play 1 winning maximum. So winning maximum is when your life is at 6, you get basic Day of Devastation for all your super robots. Things like cannot be destroyed, cannot be bounced, cannot be nullified, and you get a 6000 defense. So that makes your card burn 36k defense with your shouting. So the next effect is when you attack, if your life is 6 or less, all right changes on if you get quad attack. So this card with shout can make 5 crits, quad attack. So just play 1. The same reason you can filter this. Next up, we play 1 Burn Nova. Because since Burn Nova is like the perfect fit in this deck. Because since all your cards are actually in a soul, you can call the Burn Nova, and then you can soul guard. And all your cards cannot be rested, cannot leave the field. So you can use Burn Nova. You can attack 3 times, call out all your stuff, finish the opponent off in the next turn. Yeah, you lose your hand, but you go for it when you know you can win. Then play some old cards. Play 4 Imperial Fleet Operated Queen Lada 3. So the main function of this card is to search out your Sasuke. Because Sasuke has a spell searcher. So the thing about the spell searcher is, right, the spell nows are very prevalent in this meta. So you don't want to get spell now, and you want to use the spell for other effects actually. So this is way better. You just have to search Sasuke with this, and you can also use the effect where when it attacks, you can put a card into the soul and draw 1 and gain 1 life. So you can also fill the soul for Sasuke. And then play this. It's the promo. It's the King Lada 3. Okay, it's a really long name. So the main purpose of this is to prevent ability now, because Sasuke doesn't have inbuilt ability now, so you have to play this. 2 is enough, and it has a passive power boost which won't really matter because your cards are so high in power anyway. So just play 2 of this. Next we play Warriors Bond, Pal United Formed. So this is the searcher. So you pay 1 life and then you search for 1 super robo. But actually the reason why you play the size 1 Queen Lada, right, is so that you can use the second ability of this card, which is to put 2 soul from the drop zone, 2 monsters from the drop zone into the soul of a super robo. So that's why you can use eyeball. You can drop whatever you want into the soul, use this to put them inside the soul. I would prefer to use the second effect over the first effect unless I don't have a choice. Yeah. Next, another old card. Be careful of your surroundings. This is basically a free charge draw, and yeah, it's not once per turn. So in your station, put a crew trooper from the drop zone to the soul of a battleship, charge and draw. It's not once per turn, so you can also put the one where you discard, you search for Satsuki, and then use this to put the inside the soul. Next, play extra order. Extra order is you discard a crew trooper or super robot, draw 2, and if you're station, you draw 3. I mean, draw 1 more, so it's just a standard draw. And then we play 2. It's a mission briefing. So this is basically Omega from Time Dragons. Yeah. So if you're station or right, you may look at the top 3 cards, put 1 into hand, 1 into the gauge, and the rest into the soul or the drop. So this is very good. You can get extra souls, extra gauge, because you need gauge for some of the cards. Because Sasuke only reduced the gauge by 2. So like cards like Eyeball, they still require 1 extra card, 1 extra gauge, sorry. So you play 2. And then you play 2 Brave Machine Hanger. It's actually the same reason. It gets you a soul, gets you a gauge. I was debating playing this or Superhero Time, but this is actually better because you get 1 extra soul. Like it could lead to 1 extra attack. Yeah. So this is quite good. Anything that gives gauge is actually really good in this deck. So play Let's Make a Pal. So this is the card that prevents opponent from resting you, and it also prevents ability from being nullified. So when a soul is put into a super robot, you get to charge and draw. It's a pretty simple ability. You play 2 because you can only set 1. And you don't really worry about resting too much because you can always just call 1 by 1 and attack them. Or you can like call 2, attack. And if they rest, you can call another one. Yeah. So the main thing is the ability now and the charge and draw. You can use it during both turns. So you can charge and draw during both turns. Next up, we play. This is Hyper Energy and 1 Hyper Energy. This card is, I don't know why they made this card. This card is so strong. So basically what it does is you can search your deck for Hyper Energy. So it's a pinpoint search for Hyper Energy. So which means you run like 1 enough. And then if you're right or station, you draw 1. That's the balance, guys. It's like you plus 1 and then you plus 1 more just for playing a card. And then you get 4 gauge. So it's like basically you draw 1 and you get a 4 gauge. It's pretty busted. But I was thinking of playing 3 of this and 1 Hyper Energy, but I realized that you don't really need so many Hyper Energies in the deck because we already have so many ways to get gauge. So Hyper Energy is just purely for the draw. Next up, we play the defensive stuff. Play 4. My Soul is Shouting. So this is actually a very good card in this meta because when your opponent attacks, you cast this. If you're station or right, if you nullify the attack, then if you have 2 or more souls, you get 2 gauge. Then if you gain 2 life, and then if there's 3 or more, you draw a card, and this card cannot be nullified. Actually, that is very important in this meta. With spell nows running rampant in this game, spell nows are really like ruining the game. It makes your opponent like become unplayable if you like draw 3 or 4 spell nows. So your opponent can't like just link attack and spell now this. So that's why I run 4, and it gives you 2 gauge, 2 life, and draw, which is actually very important in this deck. And we play 3. I Won't Let You. This is basically a weaker loud voice. It doesn't stop everything, but it stops the cards you choose. Like, so you just drop 1 or more souls from a super robo, choose cards on the field. You can use one of the 2 effects. Choose cards on the field and stand them equal to the number of souls you drop, or choose cards on your opponent field and they drop 10k power and 3 critical. So like maybe against mirror match is actually very good. So if your opponent just calls multiple on the field, you can cast, and then you can reduce all the crits. So you can, what I do is I call Kaiserion, so you get 4 souls, and then you just remove 3 souls from Kaiserion, you minus 3, and then they most likely can't hit Kaiserion because they're like maybe the power is too little after that. Because I think 10k defense is actually pretty decent in this meta. Like if you're able to minus another 10k, right, most of the cards cannot hit. They have to do a link attack. So this is actually very good. And you can also stand your cards. in case you need to go for the push. And then play the so-called the most broken card in the format, Grace of Sun Deity. So this is what everybody has been talking about in this set. So what it does is choose and use one of the following two. For this turn, you cannot take damage by your opponent card's effect. So like decks like Garga, decks like anything that does damage, basically you just shut them down instantly. And then you choose a card on the field. For this turn, the chosen cannot be destroyed or leave the field, and its soul cannot be dropped or returned to the deck by your opponent card effect. So what this means, right, is if you, let's say you call the Kaiserion out and then you get like 4 souls, so let's say you call Kaiserion, then you get 4 souls. You get 4 souls here. When you cast this on Kaiserion, right, so they are forced to beat Kaiserion down one by one. They can't do anything to like send the Kaiserion one shot, like they can't drop the soul, they can't return it to the bottom of the deck. So you're basically forced to, okay, it's 5 souls. Okay. So you're basically forced to beat down one by one. And if your opponent doesn't have a way to drop souls or anything, right, you can use the first effect where you don't take damage, so your opponent can't penetrate through the Kaiserion. So this is actually one of the most strongest defense in the deck. This card actually defines the game quite well because it stops a lot of deck. I'm not sure whether it's a good idea, but it makes a lot of deck unplayable and makes some of the decks too strong. Like for example, Atora. Like everybody thinks Atora is, you can drop the soul and stuff, but if you Grace or Sun Deity, right, you can't do anything to Atora. Like with the overturn and everything, Atora will be too strong. So you just, the main combo is with Kaiserion, and you can also use it against Sasuke. I think this card is really strong. If you were to build a deck now, I would highly suggest you play this in like most decks. So that's the deck. The deck has some weakness and some pluses. Obviously the pluses is it draws a lot, you got a lot of high offense. But the main weakness of this deck, right, is it doesn't have a way to end the battle phase. Like they don't have a de-alteration, and they don't have a way to extend their battle phase. So that's a very big problem in this meta. So if I were to rate this deck currently, right, I would say it's a high tier 2 deck. Because it really, the lack of de-alteration and the extra attack phase, right, it really puts the deck way below. Because like you just have to worry about 3 attacks. Like let's say you, one by one, your opponent plays Dimension Dragons, he attacks, calls Dugain, there's 1 attack. The second attack calls another Dugain, de-alteration, there's nothing you can do. Unless, of course, you can always run spell nows. That's one way. But yeah, like, and also buddy block is another thing. So I feel like this deck, it has potential, but it still needs something. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this deck profile. I will leave a link to my blog in the description so you can check out my blog. And with that, I'll see you guys.